There it is in all its glory. Yow. Howdy folks, welcome to the channel. Yes, here it is. This is in there. The baby that's in the belly. 24 weeks pregnant and I'm due to go back to work next week, so I thought what better time than to do a video to talk about my top tips for being pregnant at work. Let's roll the intro. That's right folks, I am pregnant for the second time. Am I crazy? You bet I am. No, I'm excited. Even though we're in lockdown and there's all sorts of anxiety stuff going on, I'm super excited to have this little bean growing inside. So I had a bit of a surprise last week. I had a phone call from the guys that I work with saying that it's most likely work is going to kick back off in a few weeks and that I'm going to be needed. And I've made the decision, as I'm only 24 weeks, to go back for maybe a month and a half. And I thought what a perfect time to shoot a video and talk about my top tips for being pregnant and going to work. Now, for any newbies out there that don't know me, my pregnancy last time caused a bit of a stir. I took a picture of my belly and it went viral, international, whatever, on social media, just because I drew on my belly and I was working on site. Now, this was my first pregnancy, and I think when you're pregnant the first time round, you kind of do stuff that you probably shouldn't do. You put yourself in a little bit of danger at times just because everything's new. I can't find this. I'm going to find it real soon. So I thought it'd be really interesting to talk about the things that I'm going to do this time and the things that I did last time and bunch them together, and hopefully it's going to be useful to anyone out there who's currently pregnant and going to work, whether you're in a labour intensive job like mine or whether you're just sat behind a desk or driving in a car. Hopefully everything's going to be relevant to you. I found it. Okay, here we go. So last time, this was me. Old news, fake news, whatever Donald Trump said. But the truth is I worked on site for a long time. I worked right up until, I think, 6 weeks before giving birth. So let's get straight into this. I'll stop waffling. What are my pro tips for being pregnant at work? Number one, get real with yourself. What do I mean by this? Well, don't kid anyone. You're pregnant. Take it in, absorb that information, and understand that you are not in a normal physical position right now. Things are happening. You're creating lungs, you're creating hearts, you're creating brains, you're creating fingers, toes, everything. It's an incredible experience, but your body is changing. Hormones are moving around, and you need to realize this. Don't just think, oh, I'm pregnant, I'm growing a baby, but I feel quite normal. If you're not having any morning sickness, get real with yourself. You're pregnant, things have changed. Which leads me nicely on to number two. You can't do everything. Yes, you may feel like you are Superwoman. I certainly did. And you are. You are a Superwoman because you're creating a human, like I said a million times over. But you can't do everything. And this is really important. So know your limits. If you've got morning sickness, if you're suffering from that, if you're extremely tired in the morning, then don't put any pressures on yourself, because if you start putting pressures on yourself, you're going to start feeling it physically and mentally. And it's just not worth it. Number three, and this one relates quite highly to me, is make sure that you tell your workplace. You might feel uncomfortable telling them until you pass the 12-week scan, which is fully understandable. A lot of things can happen before then. But I left it really late on my first pregnancy to tell anyone at work, and I kind of suffered in silence. And my second pregnancy, I told everyone a lot sooner, because at the end of the day, I was doing physical and labour intensive work, and it was going to be pretty obvious to people that I was rolling into work a little bit late because I felt so sick. I wasn't sick, but I felt so sick. And 85% of women who are pregnant get morning sickness, and morning sickness does not happen first thing in the morning. Always, it can happen throughout the day. So the sooner you can tell your workplace, the better, because they're going to understand what it is that you're going through. Number four, this was a big one for me. Don't feel guilty. No, there's plenty of time to feel guilty when you become a mother. Trust me, when they pull the baby out the womb, they then shove anxiety and guilt back in before they sew you up or just get you on your way. So don't feel guilty. And this goes to your workplace as well. There might be people that work with you, managers or work colleagues who have not had a baby or are male and have never been around a woman that has been pregnant, and they won't understand what it is that you're going through. So don't feel guilty if you're not putting out your normal working output. It's near on impossible to do your normal job whilst you're pregnant. And as much as you can fight it, like I said at the start, it's not good for you. So get rid of the guilt. There's plenty of time for that to come when you have the child. Number 5, don't be afraid to ask for help. I found in my first pregnancy that I was doing a lot of things that I shouldn't have been doing physically, and it was just because I was a little bit afraid to ask for help. I thought, like, you know, everyone else is continuing to do the same work. I'm getting the pay the same as everyone else, and I should be doing the same. But the reality is, no, that's not true. And lots of people will help you if you just ask. They will understand your situation. Number 6, I'm going to stop counting with the fingers. Don't be afraid to have time off work. I know this is hard, and you can feel guilty. Common theme there. But you might have to take time off work. I actually work part-time, and I cannot understand physically how some women can work full-time, even if it's sat behind a desk, because pregnancy at certain stages, especially during the first trimester and a little bit in the second trimester, and a whole lot in the third trimester, is incredibly tiring. And there are some days where you just can't get your head off the pillow, and that's okay. And you have to realise that, and you have to have time off, and you have to let your body recuperate. Next up is enjoy it. Yeah, that's right. You are at work still and you're creating a human, but, you know, enjoy the process if you can and you're not too ill. Chat to people about their pregnancies and chat to other women, chat to people who have kids. I work with all men, and it's funny when I chat to them, they talk to me about labour stories. Some of them can be quite scary, but some of them quite insightful as well. And it's nice to talk about pregnancy, and it opens up conversations with people, and it's kind of interesting. So yeah, talk about it and embrace it. All right, this one's like the most important advice, and I'm serious. You always need snacks. Yep. So whether you have morning sickness or not, snacks are very important. What I found in the second pregnancy, which has helped me a lot, which I didn't do in the first one, was adjust my eating habits. This sounds crazy, but in my first pregnancy, I was huge, and that was because I just kept ramming food into my mouth. I was just hungry the whole time, and yes, I didn't have sickness, so that wasn't an issue. But on this pregnancy, I did feel sick during the start, and I felt that when I was driving to work, if I could just eat something along the way, then it would kind of suppress that sickness and also increase energy levels. I could not stop eating my first pregnancy. This second one, I've been a little bit better. I've not ballooned. I've gained a few extra chins, but it's no biggie. But snacks have helped me massively at work. When I'm walking around, it's easy to get distracted and tired and not to remember to eat. So snacking throughout the day has been a must for me. Next one is please don't compare yourself to anyone else. You might be working with other pregnant women, or you might have friends who are pregnant and they've talked about how they've battled through at work or done so much or been like physically active right to the last point of giving birth. That's great for them. But you are you and you're having different experiences. So do not compare to anyone else. Don't Google what you should be doing or what you can do. Obviously get advice from a doctor, but just listen to your own body. And lastly, of course, mental health. It's so important, and sometimes we're just horrendous at doing it, but talk to other people. You're going through some life-changing things, growing human. Chat to people. You know, hormones go doolally during pregnancy, and there's a lot of highs and lows, and I think it's really important that you talk to anyone. So talk to your partner at home or talk to work colleagues, but just talk because it helps. If you're feeling crap, tell someone. Talk about your experiences. Okay, that's it. Well, I hope you found this video useful and helpful, and I am going to go back to work next week. Wish me luck, folks. I'll be taking some of my own tips on that journey for the last part of my pregnancy, and I'll be back real soon with a new video. Thanks for watching.